Do you want ton of damage? Of course, Warframe is a game where you always ask for more power. Who doesn't want that? Hello everyone, and welcome on this Warframe video. I hope everyone he's doing good, and healthy. The Warframe we gonna talk today is Chroma. Chroma is insane. He can buff damage so high, and he can resist pretty much everything with a good build. I'm gonna show you how works Chroma in general, and after that, I will show you my builds. First, let's look at its abilities. The passive of Chroma is really interesting. Chroma can alter his abilities to match any basic elemental attribute of the player's choice. This change is performed by customizing Chroma's primary emission color. Color choices are grouped into 4 categories, with each category corresponding to a given element. First is red, magenta, brown, orange, and bright yellow, being heat. Second one is blue and purple, being electric. The third is green, lime, teal and dark yellow, being toxin. And the last one is white, gray-black, being cold. You don't have to purchase color palettes to unlock the full potential for this passive. While customizing his emission color, Chroma's active element is displayed in the form of an icon. Customizing the secondary emission and the energy colors will have no effect on Chroma's chosen element. Keep in mind, you have to change the emissive color for this passive. Okay, we have some color, but what they do? I will explain that with the abilities, don't worry. Now we need to see his abilities. His one is called Spectral Scream. This ability is garbage, really. This ability can kill level 20 enemies maybe, but for real content, Spectral Scream is useless. That doesn't do enough damage at all. You can change damage type by changing your emission color. But whatever you choose, this is garbage. Don't use it. The 2 of Chroma is Elemental Ward. This ability is good. Depending on Chroma's elemental alignment, an offensive area of effect is created. Chroma and his nearby allies are imbued with defensive energy. That means you have a buff, depending on what color you put in your emissive color. If you take red color as emissive, this is the heat buff. Heat buff will give you 200% health bonus for 25 seconds. I take heat often when I need to be tanky, or I'm playing melee. Blue color, which is electric buff, will give you 100% shield bonus for 25 seconds. With the rework of shields, this is more useful than before. But not so good. Green buff, which is toxin, will give you 35% reload speed, and 35% holster rate bonus for 25 seconds. And the last one is white, which is cold, will give you 150% armor bonus for 25 seconds. You can increase the duration for this buff by putting duration mods. The augment mod for this ability is Everlasting Ward. Allies that leave the radius will retain the effect for 100% of the remaining duration. A good support mod in my opinion. The 3 of Chroma is called Vex Armor. This ability is why everyone is playing Chroma. This is one of the best damage buff in the game right now. Did you say how much? Well, that ability give armor bonus and damage bonus for 25 seconds. Is this real life? The ability work like this: when your shield get hit by an enemy, you gain armor. When your health is hit by an enemy, you gain damage buff. Something you need to know with Vex Armor is, every damage mods like Serration, Heavy Caliber, Magnum Force, Hornet Strike, doesn't work with Vex Armor. Vex Armor don't take in consideration those mods for the damage buffing. So when you play Chroma, you need to change your weapons builds. You can put critical damage, multi-shot, critical chance, or more elemental damage, like primed cryo rounds for example. Don't put any pure damage mod with Chroma if you play with Vex Armor buff. Here I show you the build I'm using for the weapons with Chroma. As you can see, I don't put Serration or Heavy Caliber, but more elemental damage and multi-shot. Same for my Tomb Finger, more elemental damage. By the way, you can replace primed heated charge by anemic agility if you want more fire rate. This ability give the same buff at your allies if they in range, 18 meters in fact. Duration is affected by duration mods of course. And the more power strength you have, the more the damage buff will be high. Here I have 1081% armor increase buff, and 849% damage increase buff. We will see the build after the abilities for reaching that buff. The augment mod for this ability is Vexing Retaliation. Taking 150 damage will trigger a 9-meter burst. Shield damage will cause a puncture proc, while health damage will cause a blast proc. Honestly, not so useful mod. More like a fun mod. The 4 of Chroma now is Effigy. Chroma turns his pelt into a massive sentry that strengthens nearby allies and engulfs enemies in elemental attacks. This ability is a drain. Effigy makes some damage, based on what color you're using your emissive color. You can make more credits with Effigy. How? Well, all credits that drop within 10 meters of the sentry, give 100% additional credits at max rank, and enemies killed by the sentry, have 60% chance to drop additional credits. The range is not affected by mods. You can use it, when you're doing Profit Taker for example. You need to do it, just when she's gonna put the credits on the ground, because if you don't, that doesn't work. Now, you know how works Chroma in general. I'm gonna show you my builds, and I will explain it. This is my regular build, for pretty much all content. This build is 5 Forma, but we have 2 Umbral mods, so this is necessary. First we have Blind Rage, we need a lot of power strength, for the Vex armor which is the 3 of Chroma. More power mean, more powerful damage buff, a must-have on this build. Next we have Streamline, if I don't put him I have 45% efficiency, I don't like playing with too much negative efficiency. This is why I put him here. Narrow-minded, the second stat we need for Chroma is Duration. More duration mean, damage buff and armor increase more longer. This is what we need right now. Primed Continuity, for extra duration of course. Umbral Intensify and Umbral Vitality, because this is better than the normal versions, and they synergize between them. Hunter Adrenaline now, very important. You have negative efficiency already, you need something for keeping you energy high. This is why Hunter Adrenaline is here. Transient Fortitude, more power strength. Very important for Chroma's buff. For the Exiles mod, you can put whatever you want. Here I have Corrosive Projection but, as you know Corrosive Projection is not insane as before. You can replace it by Enemy Radar, Growing Power, Physique, Swift Momentum if you playing melee. For the Arcanes now, I play Guardian for more extra armor. And I play Arcane Grace, for that sweet health regeneration of course. Don't forget if you play red color as emissive, you have way more health. And this is why Grace is good too. Even if you play with other colors, Grace is very good. That was my first build. Now I will show you my second build for Eidolon Hunting. This is pretty much the same build. But I changed Streamline for Augur Secrets, for maximum power strength. And the Arcanes, Nullifier which give you 102% chance to resist to a magnetic effect. That mean you don't lose energy, when the Eidolon is on the ground and he is doing his shockwave. Of course if you have an Harrow, and you are playing in a good organized group you don't need this one. This Arcane is more for solo runs, or if you don't have Harrow. Now for the gameplay of Chroma, is very simple. When you start a mission, just hit your 2 and 3. Let the enemies hit you for boosting your 3 Vex armor. You can see the how much % damage increase you have, just here. When you are at your maximum, try to keep an eye on your 3. You can recast it until you finish, and I suggest you do this. Because if you don't, you're gonna lose the damage buff. On the other hand, if you recast it when you got maximum damage in %, you will have the same damage buff and you don't lose any % of your damage buff. This is very important with Chroma right now, just keep an eye on your 3. And you will be good. You can't recast your 2, so you need to let him finish. And then you can activate him again. For the Operator School, you can use Zenuric for more energy regeneration. Personally, I use it often. When I play melee, sometime I will play with Narman School, which is good for keeping combo very high. Alright, I think that's it for this video. If you find it informative, or you like my content, you can hit that juicy like button. Thank you very much for watching. I see you in the next video.